Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
What's up, Cavs fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Block the Shot to Stop. Here with Skylar Webker, I am Kevin Lynch, doing a little special Sunday morning episode to recap the Cavs' first couple Summer League games. I like to compare Summer League to a Fast and Furious movie. If you don't take it too seriously, it can be a lot of fun. So with that, Skylar, I know you and I both have probably watched a little bit too much Summer League for being July and having other things to do. But what's your first impression or two of these Cavs, these first Cavs games?
I'm curious why some people are playing at all versus not playing at all. I guess that's the first impression. The second, outside of that, is kind of some of the things that we're seeing out of a lot of these guys, like Jaylon Tyson, like Tyrese Proctor, like Nae'Qwan Tomlin. Seeing a lot of good things and things that can help this team, not the major league team, but the real team. I don't want to say the real team because that's not it either, but you know what I mean, to help the Cleveland Cavaliers.
We're with you, the big league club. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I think Craig Porter Jr. in particular, it was kind of a surprise he was on this roster. You think he's established enough and is projected to have, a pretty important role with the Cavs, at least the first couple months of the season. So I was a little surprised he was on there. And then, of course, he pulls his hamstring 6 minutes into action, and we probably won't see him again in Summer League. So it's a little bit moot points. But I want to talk about who I have in the title of this episode, Nae'Qwan Tomlin. Is this guy a diamond in the rough for the Cavs? I got his stats from the G League last year. I think everyone was a little bit surprised when the Cavs needed to add somebody. They end up bringing him up instead of like JT Thor or at that time Amani Bates or guys like that. A lot of us that don't pay as much attention to the charge as maybe we should weren't really sure about this guy. But then you look at his G League numbers: 21 points, 9 rebounds, couple of assists, 54% shooting, 34 from three. Like, he was really good. And in limited time with the Cavs, I thought really impressed last year. And then he is absolutely built on that in the first 2 games of Summer League.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the Cavs have one open roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's trying to gun for that last roster spot, show what he can do. And look, he's coming out impressive. I mean, the first night puts up 17 points on, what was it, 6 personal fouls?
No. So he had 9 personal fouls in the first game. For those who don't know, in Summer League, each player gets 10 fouls instead of the traditional 6 in a real regular season NBA game. And Jaquan tried to take advantage of just about all of them.
Yeah, I mean, so 30 points on 9 personal fouls. And then on the second game, 22 points, respectable, and 13 rebounds. So kind of doing it from both ends. His shooting efficiency is great. 9 for 12 on the second game, and on the first game, 12 for 16. So, I mean, he's efficiently shooting out there, which is good to see with a team that, you can never have enough shooting.
Sure. Something that kind of stuck out to me, or I guess maybe I recalled while I was watching these first couple games, and in particularly Nae'Qwan Tomlin, is there was a Zach Lowe podcast. It might have even been from last summer or something. But I remember him just saying that, you don't pay as much attention to the wins and losses in Summer League. It's always fun to win or whatever, but there's a few things you can look out for, especially with rookies, see how, if they athletically adapt, if they can hang athletic wise. And then anyone who's not a rookie, do they come back? The guys that come back and look like they don't belong in summer league, look like they've aged out. They look like they're, almost like seniors playing against freshmen kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Nae'Qwan Tomlin has absolutely looked like that. He's been the best player in both of these Cavs games on either team. And just, the way he is kind of contributed in every facet. I mean, scoring both games, phenomenal. As you mentioned, 30 points in the first game. Second game, 22 on 9 of 12 shooting, 2 of 3 on 3. But then he adds 13 rebounds and 4 assists. Like he looks like the LeBron in these games, just kind of controlling anything he wants to. And it's got me getting ideas about, is this guy really a rotation player? I don't know if you saw, but like they asked Kenny Atkinson during the first game, he's like, this guy could be a rotation player for us this season. Like he's impressing me that much, and he's a head coach, so that's a pretty good guy to impress.
Yeah, I think he, stats wise and just on the floor wise, it looks so far above and beyond most summer league guys. I think the other person that's really impressed me just in the athleticism and what they're able to do on the floor is the Cavs pick from this year, Tyrese Proctor. I mean, first game, not fantastic shooting wise, 3 of 11, and not anything to write home to mom about. But, he responded in game 2 with, coming with, where is he at? Game 2. Here we go. He's 3 of 8 from 3, comes with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, and a positive plus minus, which I'm big on that. Yeah. But just he looks like he knows that this team needs a 3-and-D guy, and that's what he's trying to show that he can do, is be that 3-and-D type of player.
Yeah, 100%. So the couple things I noticed about Tyrese, like he played mostly point guard at Duke, but he's not a point guard in the NBA. He can do some ball handling, but he's not a natural point guard. He's more of a combo guard, a very distant version of like a Donovan Mitchell, but the way Donovan Mitchell is more of a combo guard than a true point guard or true shooting guard for that matter. So I agree with you. I mean, he's overall 6 of 15, so 40% on 3. I agree with you. The way he gets on the court this year, even next year, needs to shoot the three ball well, and then needs to show enough athletic ability and enough, skill defensively to really kind of fill the biggest need for the Cavs, which is perimeter defense. Like if he can come in and hit a few threes and play really good defense, and kind of give one of the better perimeter scorers on the other team some trouble, like there's a world in which he could carve out a role for himself by middle of this year, playing 10, 12, 15 minutes a game, just coming in and giving you like all out effort. Maybe one of those guys that like full court presses the other teams like point guard just to annoy them. So that's really his path. And I think, off initial impression for his first couple games, like you said, you can see the groundwork of that path being built.
Yeah. And there's going to be minutes at the guard position available, especially the first half of this year with Darius Garland's injury. Yeah. And if this Craig Porter Jr. injury lingers or turns into something larger, I mean, then you really have guard minutes available. Lonzo Ball and Sam Merrill can only take so many of those. So yeah, there's minutes available if you can prove yourself. I think he needs to improve on the 3-point efficiency, because I don't think you're going to get 7 and 8 shots each game. So a little bit more efficiency on the 3-point shooting, and I think you're on your way to proving to be on this team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you're right. There's opportunities on this team. We've talked a lot about the perimeter defense, and everything, but you can always use more offense, and this team will need more playmaking at the beginning of the year as well. Like they do, as much as they spread it out, Darius Garland does, do as much playmaking for his teammates as anybody on the team. So I think the natural, kind of answer to missing that is give more responsibility to Evan Mobley. And that is what I think they'll do and what I hope they'll do. But he's not going to be able to take all of it. Like there's going to be more, there's going to be some left for other people. And while Tyrese isn't a natural point guard, or a guy we're going to get to in a second, Jaylon Tyson isn't a natural point guard, they both have the ability to do some of that playmaking, 3-point shooting, defensive stuff that we need. And if you're wondering why I say they're not a natural point guard, this is what I look for. All right. If the moment they get pressured, say you're a point guard, you bring the ball up the court and you the moment the defender comes up to pressure you, if the first thing you do is turn your back to them instead of trying to like actually put a move on them, you're just trying to shield the ball. That tells me like you're not a natural point guard. And both those guys did that a lot in those games. But that's fine. Like you don't long term, the Cavs don't need these guys to be natural point guards. They need them to be, playmakers and contribute in ways that they haven't been getting from the guys on the roster.
Exactly, especially because you know who the point guard on the Cleveland Cavaliers are. And They got a backup point guard who doesn't shield the ball, can move the ball up the court and everything like that. So that's not what the Cavs totally need, but they need shooting. They need 3-and-D guys. They need perimeter defense. Those are the things that this team really desperately needs.
Yeah. And the other guy I want to talk about, we can come back to any of these guys, but I want to make sure we spend some time on Jaylon Tyson. He might fall into that group where you're talking about a little bit surprised they're playing. I mean, a lot of times second-year guys play unless they're a star, but he is a guy is going to be on the team and you can kind of see the role he's going to get. But I'm fine with him playing Summer League because, when you're young and you're a little bit raw like Jaylon was when he came in the NBA, the more you play, the better to me. As long as you're not like trying to play through an injury. But I think Jaylon, watching him in Summer League kind of reaffirms my opinion that he has a real opportunity on this team. Like he is so athletic and he has great feet and he has the ability to be a high level defender in the NBA.
Absolutely.
And the more he's starting to flash offensively, whether that's, feeling a little bit more comfortable shooting the three, doing a little bit of that playmaking we talked about, he started doing this toward the end of last year, started like cutting off the ball a lot, which I love to see like athletic guys like him do. So I'm getting ideas with Jaylon Tyson. I think Jaylon Tyson could quite probably be in the every game 9-10 man rotation. He's going to be somewhere in the top 10, and that might mean somebody else gets squeezed out or maybe there's an injury or something. But I think he's almost going to have to be in that regular second unit for the Cavs.
Yeah, especially the last game against the Pacers. I mean, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, a block, and putting up 20 points.
Right.
I mean, that's good. And that will definitely play in the NBA. If you get 12 assists in an NBA game and pair it with 20 points, like that's all-star level. Now, granted, it's Summer League. It's not the highest competition. I know this, but still, like, cut those numbers in half. If he can give you 6 assists and 10 points, you feel great about that.
100%. And I truly think he could be a guy, at least this year, as he's a young player continuing to develop, where his offense is kind of like the cherry on top because he could do so many things defensively, rebounding, screen setting. His points, at least I should say, could be kind of like I said, an icing on the cake kind of thing because he's a guy I could see contributing in most or all areas of the game. And that's something that we talked about the Cavs are a little bit lacking. They have a lot of specialists, guys who are really good on offense or really good on defense or really good at this thing or that thing, and not guys who are two-way players who can contribute, at a pretty high level, both offensively and defensively. I think Jaylon Tyson has the ability to be one of those guys that can do both. And I think he doesn't have to be a star scorer or anything like that, but I think this is a guy who's going to start out the season in the rotation and work his way into more and more minutes as the season goes along.
Yeah, and even like in this first game, you get 8 rebounds on 3 assists and 2 blocks. I mean, that's getting it done on the playmaking. Yeah. You don't have to be an elite scorer. Do well in all of the other things. And I think you're right about him getting a lot more playing time because he'll probably play a lot with that second unit. So you have Lonzo Ball who can facilitate. You have Sam Merrill who can shoot the lights out when he's on. And then you kind of pair his defensive skill set with Larry Nance Jr. I mean, I think you got a little bit of chemistry there, a little bit of something cooking where, you could have this perimeter defender be playing as aggressive as you need to because you have Larry Nance in there cleaning up paint.
100%. And these guys are not as big a key to the Cavs as a Donovan Mitchell or an Evan Mobley, but
Right.
developing guys like Jaylon Tyson, like Nae'Qwan Tomlin, like Craig Porter Jr., so that they can be very effective contributing role players is a huge key to this team when it comes to salary cap repercussions, not being able to bring in big name free agents. Like, they're going to have to develop guys like this if they want to keep the core four together, or even three of the core four, to still have depth and to still have complementary pieces to really compete for a title. So, seeing particularly Tyson and Tomlin play the way they are and look like they're developing the way they are, I think is a huge positive sign for the Cavs.
Yeah, we talked about this with Luca over at realcavsfans.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels very much like baseball. Like, you develop guys in the minor leagues and G League and Summer League, and that's what keeps your team running longer, because you get these affordable guys that are contributing at a high level, and they'll go off, they'll make their own money, but you just got to keep the farm developing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at, and it can be huge for these guys. I mean, Sam Merrill is one of these guys. He just signed a $38 million 4-year contract. Dean Wade was one of these guys. He's been making about $6 million the past 2-3 years. So, and even those are pretty good contracts. But this is going to be such a huge key to the Cavs for as long as they keep the core four together. Like, eventually, if they break it up, then the money shifts around and maybe they allocate the salary cap money differently. But, I really think if any or all of Tomlin, Tyson, and Porter Jr. can make significant contributions on this team, and by significant contributions, I mean they play every game. They are a net positive being on the floor instead of a net negative. It's going to go a long way. And, the Cavs have injury prone guys on this team. We avoided injuries for the most part last year, but DeAndre Hunter's a guy that gets injured a lot. Dean Wade's a guy that gets injured a lot. Darius Garland's already injured, so they're going, as nice as it is to have depth the way the Cavs have depth this year, odds of them getting as good a healthy year from the entire roster is probably low. So that's another key reason you need these guys to not only contribute, but be ready to contribute more than they usually are if, somebody goes down.
Another piece about this development and stuff like that is all of these guys that we're talking about are either undrafted or second round picks. So, because Cavs don't have any first round picks for a while, which is fine, because I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell on this team.
Right.
So the fact that you're able to develop and build these undrafted second round guys and get as much out of them as some teams are getting out of their first round picks, that goes a very, very long way, because eventually you will get first round picks back.
Yeah, 100%. And the most important thing about these guys, I bury the lead towards, we'll get to wrap it up here. One of these guys, Nae'Qwan Tomlin, Jaylon Tyson, or Craig Porter Jr., could become our guy on the Block the Shot the Stop podcast. We need a new guy. Ty Jerome was our guy last year. We all love Ty Jerome. We wish him nothing but well in Memphis. But we want a guy to rally around who's not like a star player, but a guy that we think it could contribute or could kind of break out this season. These are 3 big candidates. So, I already put a request in to Nae'Qwan Tomlin's agents, come on the pod. We'll be your biggest fans.
We'll do the fan club.
Yeah, exactly. So, as much as we were a Ty Jerome podcast next year, we'll be a podcast that big or bigger for another player on the Cavs this year. We just we got to see how things go between now and the start of the season, who that's going to be.
Got to zero in on one.
Yeah. All right, so we'll wrap up here. Any last thoughts on summer league, Skylar? Maybe either what we've seen or maybe what you want to see. The Cavs have a game tonight, Sunday, and then another game Tuesday, and then we'll do another recap after the Tuesday game. But yeah, any thoughts on what we've seen, or maybe what you would want to see these next 2 games in the coming up?
I'm confused, or maybe out of the loop, and any listeners feel free to leave a comment and loop us in. But where is Luke Travers? Where is this guy?
Yeah,
he hasn't played in any summer league games, and he's still, the Cavs picked up his option. So where is he?
It's a great question. I did a 5-minute online deep dive to try and figure that out. No explanation. It looks like he is back in Australia currently. So I don't know if it was some kind of deal with the Cavs that I played in summer league twice. I don't want to play again, even if I am a two-way guy. But, he's a guy that the Cavs see potential in, but certainly needs more development. So I agree with you. I'm a little surprised he's not there.
Yeah, I love the mullet, but definitely needs a little, like you said, grooming.
Yeah, for sure. My final thought, I'm going to go back to kind of where we started with Nae'Qwan Tomlin. I really think this guy could almost be an exception to the rule of how players develop. For those who don't know, he didn't play high school basketball, and he just started playing basketball, at least organized basketball, in college, ended up playing at Memphis. So he is so, underdeveloped for his age, and you see the skill there. I mean, he looks, I wouldn't have thought all of that with as polished as some of his offensive game looks. He does, still need development and needs some development defensively. He's averaging 7 fouls a game. And in summer league, and since you're only allowed 6, that could be a problem in the regular NBA. But I really think this is a guy who could turn into a valuable rotation piece for the Cavs and have a 8 to 10 year career in the NBA. I really think he looked that skilled. He impressed me right away when the Cavs called him up from the G League last year, and looks even better now. So I'm gonna keep my eye on him these next couple games, and as long as summer league's going on. And I definitely think he's a guy to watch out for with the Cavs. I agree. Like, they won't make him a permanent roster guy right away, because as a two-way guy, you can play 50 games with the NBA team before they have to convert you to a real contract. So it's just kind of a way the teams take advantage of the system to get like an extra guy on the roster. But I could see him being on the Cavs bench every day, never really hanging out with the Charge too much.
Yeah, and 50 games in, that's when the trade deadline is, so you can make a roster spot for the guy.
Right, exactly. Well, Skylar, thanks for jumping on this Sunday morning to talk about basketball. I know I pulled you in and pulled you probably away from family responsibilities, but it's a lot of fun to be able to talk about real basketball and not just storylines about what already happened or what might happen in the future. We're actually seeing live basketball, even if it is summer league. So
agreed.
For Skylar, for myself, thank you so much for tuning in to the Block the Shot to Stop. As always, subscribe, like everywhere, especially YouTube. We're trying to grow that presence a little bit. And we'll be back. We're going to recap these next 2 games of summer league, and then we're going to restart our player profiles going into next year this week. So check out our feed. We'll have a lot more coming to you. So for the summer, for everyone watching summer league, for all Cavs fans, thank you for tuning in. And as always,
go Cavs.